Hello, welcome into this first edition of the Danny Sancomb Show for the 2024-25 season. I'm your host, Matt Kiefer, and with me as always is head coach Danny Sancomb. Coach, it's been a tumultuous first 10 games here. It started really hot, then the injury bug, I'd say, hit, but hit is not even a nice word for as much as it sort of rampaged this lineup. But overall, just look at the season here to start with. Preseason, you guys were picked number 1 in the PSAC West. It's the first time it's happened in over a decade, so you had to feel pretty excited to see your colleagues thought so highly of what you had coming back, even though you lost so many pieces last year.
Yeah, we really did. I was actually shocked losing, KJ, first-team All-American, Zion Collins, first-team All-Conference, and Jermaine Hall, second-team All-Conference, who very easily could have been first-team All-Conference. There was a lot of holes to fill, but I thought we had a good core coming back, and I thought we added a few good pieces, so I thought we'd have a good team. But, when they voted us first at the beginning of the year, which we know doesn't mean anything, they were thinking a little bit more about the team than I was at that time.
Not just the conference overall, but even the top 25 coaches poll. First time since you've been here that Cal's been ranked in the preseason top 25. Preseason number 6, climbed up to number 4 with a couple of big wins, and then with the injuries and everything else, it's now fallen out. But at least to get you guys back in that top 25, given what you lost last year. But even then, you're the top PSAC team, even the top team in the region preseason. So I had to feel pretty good overall with what the top 25 committee thought of you guys.
Yeah, and when we arrived here to school in August, I just saw some positive growth in a lot of returning players, so it made me very optimistic about what we would be able to do this year. And there's no doubt, when we started the season, I was very, very happy with going into our first game, how we were practicing and how we were playing.
Now, again, starting the year, you guys went down to Charleston. It's a team you knew relatively pretty well because it's the last team you faced last season. Both teams obviously had some new pieces. They have a new head coach. But this idea of going down there and facing a top 25 team, MEC champion, NCAA Sweet 16 member last year, that's not taking it easy, and you guys go double overtime, get the victory.
Yeah, hard-fought game, great environment. They had a bunch of support from students in the town. They hold about, 1,300 people there, and it probably was, about 1,500 people there. It was a good crowd, and our guys responded. We got nicked up a little bit. Bryson fell into the bleachers and hurt his toe, but was able to gut it out and continue into the game, and it was a hard-fought victory. I mean, we really should have won the game in regulation in the first overtime, and we just kept fighting, and we were able to pull it out in the second overtime and really jump on them in that second overtime. It was a great way to start the season.
And then with that being these tip-off tournaments, you play Glenville State, a team that has a coach who's been coaching in West Virginia for a long time, has some up-tempo kind of guys. Another key victory there to start the year with two games on the road. Yeah,
they had a big win the night before against IUP. Their record's very solid right now. They were a good team. We played really solid against them. I thought a really complete game on both ends of the court. We defended very well, made it hard for their scores, and offensively, we really moved the ball and were able to score the ball. So I felt really good after that weekend. Coming back 2-0 and playing 2 games on the road and winning is a great way to start the season.
And you come sort of a road game, but it's also sort of a home game because, again, it was at Penn State Fayette, probably the closest team campus to Cal outside of here. But one of those things they're playing at Penn State branch campus at their facility, sort of a result of the Mercyhurst, I'm sure, leaving. You had to add some games. And it's just a team you picked up and a good experience for the guys to be able to play a lot of minutes in a game like that.
Yeah, and I thought we used that game very wisely. Everybody played a good amount for our team. I think the least amount guys played was like 6 minutes. So, I thought that game we were able to utilize that and get a lot of different guys in and be able to see them in game situations. So, felt good about that. I thought offensively we did a good job. I thought the first 10 minutes of the game our defense was very good. And then I think we got a little bit lackadaisical on that end, but overall was happy with how we played there.
And that's one of those games that Bryson started the game, didn't play much, but Antoine Arnett comes into the lineup, so you're like, okay, we lose one, but add one. But then you come back here to playing Concord, the first real home opener. A team, again, it's successful last year, made the NCAA tournament here in the Convocation Center. So it's a team that was going to be right there in the mix for the MEC. What were your thoughts about the Concord contest?
Overall, very dominant game for us. We played good on both ends of the ball. We defended. They got in a little bit of foul trouble, which helped us. Some of their key players but we did a really good job defending and making things difficult for them. And then offensively, they're traditionally a very good defensive team. We scored the ball very, very well. I think we had 4, maybe 5 guys in double figures, and we shared the ball well, and we're able to do some good things. I thought we played a very solid game.
So again, there you've already played 2 teams that made the NCAA tournament. You come back and play a 3rd team in the NCAA tournament with Lincoln, CIAA champion. So it's your 3rd NCAA team and your 2nd conference champion facing Lincoln at home, getting another victory.
Yeah, when we scheduled this year, we knew it was going to be very challenging with the teams made the tournament, and especially what they have back. Lincoln has everybody back from a team that won their conference and went to the tournament last year, and we jumped on them. I thought defensively, up to that point, that was our best defensive game. We did a really good job with the scout. We did a really good job doubling. We did a really good job making their players do what they don't do well. And then offensively, that led to a lot of transition baskets for us. We got a lot of easy baskets that game, and really jumped on them from start to finish.
And then you take a little bit of a break, but come right back into with Millersville, a PSAC crossover team, another team that made the NCAA tournament. That one you didn't have a choice to schedule. That was a league-mandated pick there. But overall, a solid victory there, but it comes at a cost. Keith gets hurt in that game. Antoine comes out. But it still get that victory at home to start the weekend.
Yeah, really good win, especially when you lose Keith, about 8 minutes into the game, that you're still able to play a team that's very good this year and beat them. I was very, very happy with, just the character of our team that particular night. We didn't give in. We didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We just kept battling. We were able to really play a really good game and win that game. I think we won by 9 and just did a really good job on both ends, and was very pleased with that game. To go 6-0 and play the teams that we played up to that point was a really good start for us.
And the next one is back-to-back crossovers. Shepherd and team there, just one of those things you could just tell so many guys out and trying to figure out in less than 24 hours how do we find ways to score, what kind of rotation, what kind of lineup do we want to use. Eli Brooks comes in, burns the red shirt that game. But overall, you get a little bit of help there, but just the idea of trying to figure out 24 hours is hard to do when you lose your captain and then Keith the night before. Yeah,
when you lose Keith and it's so unexpected and, you play the next day, there's not a lot of things that you're able to do to, prepare for that. And then having Antoine, who was able to play in the game before, not play, and Bryson, Bryson was a Defensive Player of the Year in our league last year, and Antoine is on that level. So, you lose, 2 guys that really can do that and just are really good offensive players as well, and Keith in the mix. It was a struggle bus for us. We played very hard. We battled. It went down to the end, and I was like, never want to lose at home. Never want to lose, period, but never want to lose at home. But I felt like our team's effort was really good, and we gave ourselves a chance to win the game. And, it's a learning experience now where, you go from playing, a senior and a redshirt junior and a redshirt sophomore to a lot of freshmen. There's some growing pains that are going to happen.
Now with that, you have a little bit of break there, but then you go up to Damon, a team that's not in the region, but a team in the East region that made the NCAA tournament last year. They beat University of Buffalo, their neighbor school in Division I in an exhibition. It tells you what kind of program they had this year. And that was just a team there. It was just sort of a buzzsaw. You guys were just running into a team that's really tough.
Yeah, watching them prior to the game, they were the best team that I've seen thus far this year. They were they're a really talented team that shares the ball offensively, defensively. Us going up there, they beat us. I would say they really beat us sound and solid, and it was a wake-up experience for us. Like I told our guys, our team currently are the guys that are playing, and that's what we got to go with. And guys have got to step up at this point and understand, okay, if we're going to win, I have to do this, this, and this if we're going to have a chance to win basketball games. So I thought that was very eye-opening for our team, and it was disappointing right before Thanksgiving to go up there and to lose is one thing, but to get beat like we did was very frustrated. And just from a competitive level, I didn't feel like our competitive level was high enough to win the game.
So then you get the Thanksgiving break there, and you come back to the closest opponent for your house you could get to is basically a team that you're obviously very familiar with, playing Wheeling. One of those games I'm sure you absolutely wanted to get there, but in that game also Donald Whitehead and Kane Hanna both get out, and you lose in overtime. So the injuries just continue to mount and trying to figure out how do we figure out the lineup, what do we do on the fly when Donald only played a little bit in the first half.
Yeah, when you lose Donald, about 6 minutes, 7 minutes into the game, that's tough. He's such a integral part. He's does so much for us, with scoring and handling the basketball. It was tough, but we had really figured it out. We had a 13-point lead, and I really felt that game. We beat ourselves. We missed a few front ends of one-on-ones. We didn't take care of the ball. We fouled some three-point shooters, and ended up losing a heartbreaking game right there, which, for 35 minutes we were in control of the game and had the game. But, that's a valuable lesson for young guys. You got to continue to play. You got to continue to make plays. And when you have opportunities, you got to, do that. So I thought we were able to take some stuff. We watched film after that. And I thought and think we're going to grow from that at some point. I hope it's sooner than later. But I just feel like we're heading in the right direction.
So you have some time off there for the week, and then another weekend of PSAC crossover play. This one's on the road to the furthest teams you can get to from Cal. First one you start with is Westchester, team in there. It's a tough place to play, but overall a contest there, you were relatively there. And Cam, being a former Golden Ram, I'm sure he wanted to at least play well.
Yeah, very challenging crossover for us to play Westchester and East Stroudsburg. I think we're 1-3 and picked in their conference. I think Millersville was 2, I think, but top 3 teams. I liked how we played against Westchester. We had a 6-point lead at half. Thought we played very, very well. We're playing, obviously Cam is a junior, but we're playing 3 freshmen and really 3 sophomores. And one of the sophomores is a new player to our program. There's some growing pains, but we had a 6-point lead. I think with 12 minutes left in the game, we had a 3-point lead, and then we just kind of fell off. And I think their pressure bothered us a little bit, but ended up losing by 16. But I felt like we competed and played hard that particular game. I just thought we had to play a little bit smarter down the stretch, and I felt like we wore down a little bit down the stretch.
And you come back the next week and play East Stroudsburg. Speaking of press, a team that does a very unique style of defense, but a game there, East Stroudsburg is one of the teams in the East, probably the last 10, 15 years, has been one of the best teams. And you hung with them almost the entire way and almost had them there at home. Yeah,
real proud. Never in it for moral victories at all, and we're very clear of that with the team. But I was very proud. We were down, I think, 16 at half, and I think with about 18 minutes left, we called a timeout. We were down either 21 or 22 points, and we were able to cut it down to 4, with about 3.5 minutes left. And we had opportunities, to win the game. And I just felt like our team never quit. I saw guys grow. Keandre had a really good game. Statistically, he scored the ball for us. He rebounded the ball. Jordan Buchanan really played well in the second half. I think he scored 18 points in the second half. Dalman Alexander posted almost a double-double. I think he had 18 and 9. So I was able to see, some growth, from some of our younger guys. I thought Duncan Moy played really well against Westchester. So that weekend was very good. Asim was able to come in and hadn't played a lot this year and gave us good minutes in both games. So I felt like, when you go 0-2 on a weekend trip, you're never happy with that. But I felt like we're growing and we're getting better. And now that we get more practice time with each other, I feel like we will continue to get better.
Okay, we'll take a quick break here. It's a lot of games to talk about, but we got some more things to go through. Just looking here at the season to start with here. We'll be right back after this.
Coach Danny Sancomb and the Vulcans men's basketball is ready to take the conference and the nation by storm this season. A non-conference schedule that starts on November 8th is followed by the PSAC West play in January. Pack the Convocation Center with 13 home games featuring non-conference foes such as Concord, Lincoln, and Wilmington, as well as conference opponents IUP, Gannon, Slippery Rock, Clarion, Edinboro, Seton Hill, and Pitt Johnstown. Follow Cal Vulcans for the all-up-to-date schedule. Catch all the games on YouTube with CUTV Sports 1 and also the PSAC Digital Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Kiefer. With me is head coach Danny Sancomb. Coach, been through 10 games, started 10 different players already, which is almost unheard of in the sport of basketball, and used 4 different lineups, not by choice, because you, on paper, you haven't even played probably your full lineup of what you wanted to preseason-wise. But just overall, looking at these 10 guys, Cam Pollock, 11 starts back, missed basically all of last year. And coming back is at least giving you the chance to be that sharpshooter he was a couple years ago and has been throughout his career.
Yeah, Cam is great to have him back. Great work ethic, all about winning. Cam's going to have a good year this year for us. I know we've got 10 games in, but he's going to do some really good things for us. Just very consistent. His habits each and every day are great. It rubs off on our guys, and he's got great work ethic. He's obviously a great shooter, great scorer, has gotten better on defense, and is going to continue to get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, 2 guys here with 9 starts. Both got dinged up in the Wheeling game. Hoping to get them back soon. But Caden Hanna played a lot 2 years ago. Last year a little bit smaller role, but now sliding into the starting lineup role basically. And he's been a huge impact for you guys this year.
Yeah, I really like Caden. Very versatile, can play multiple positions, plays extremely hard, knows what he's supposed to do out there, stays within himself very, very well, has really, really improved in his 3 years here, and is having a great year for us. He's been able to fill in and start for us games at the 3. He started games for us at the 4, and just brings good energy, shooting the ball very, very well this year, and he's worked so hard at that, and just doing all the little things, takes charges, wins loose balls. He's a very vocal leader in our program and has done a really good job thus far.
Yeah, I think one of the guys, obviously, everybody knew he was going to take a jump this year's point guard, Donald White, has been around the program a long time, but really scoring the basketball well, getting a lot of guys involved this year already in the 9 games he's played.
Yeah, obviously, we felt like Donald would take the next step. Donald's been a great player here for us really since he started, but he does so much for us. He takes care of the ball. He keeps everybody happy. He's able to feed everybody. And he's able to make plays on his own, and just has the ability, really can get a shot anytime he wants to, and is so grown as a leader in our program. Very quiet by nature, but hear him talking more and more this year, and his production this year has been unbelievable. Really hoping we can get him back here soon. He does a lot for us.
And then your senior captain, Keith, started 6 games. He's back to basically what he was 2 years ago, missed a month last year, and then just trying to find his way into the rhythm of the rotation. But he was such a dynamic player, and when he's on the court, everything just flows differently when you have a guy that big can do so many different things. Yeah,
Keith is very talented offensively, does so much. He can score with his back to the basket. He shoots the ball extremely well. He passes the ball great. He's a very hard matchup for anybody that's big, just because his first 2 steps are very, very quick and explosive. And like I said, he just has total command of our offense. He knows what to do. Just great leader. He's really stepped up his leadership role. Obviously, is our team captain, and just does everything that you want him to do. Feel terrible that he's had a bad stretch of injuries the last 2 years. Hopefully, things can get he can get healthy and he can get back out there and help us do what we want to do this year.
And one of the guys I think probably most casual observers definitely see the huge growth in is Dominic Alexander, a guy who was your energy guy off the bench last year. Now is becoming almost a double-double kind of guy. Started 5 games already, and his growth is tremendous this year.
Yeah, he got off to a great start of the season. He puts in a lot of time as well, like all of our guys do, but he really does. Has really improved his game. But he's such a versatile defender, blocking shots, being able to switch on ball screens, guard smaller guys, and his offensive game has improved. He's been, our first 6 games when we got off to a 6-0 start had such a impact on all the games. Now his role has changed dramatically from maybe playing 15 to 17 minutes to playing 30 to 35 minutes, and he's battling. I was really pleased on the trip. I thought he had a tough game at Westchester. He really bounced back in a big way against East Stroudsburg and did some good things for us. And we need him to continue to do that.
Yeah. And the other guy, 2 guys have started games so far back is Bryson Lucas, Antoine Arnett. Guys have been around the program a long time. Everybody knows what they can do. But even Antoine made that jump this year. And we know Bryson each year makes those jumps.
Yeah, Antoine really made a big jump too. We could just tell, like last year at the end of the season when he left to go home, from the end of the season until he went home, really was developing and being just much more assertive. That's the word I always use with him. I hope we can get him back. He is such a versatile player. He can do so much to help teams win. And then Bryson, obviously, to go down in the first game, it's been frustrating. He was able to play a little bit in the second game and a little bit in the third game, but obviously we need to get him healthy. We're working on that now, but he's just another guy that can defend multiple positions, scores the basketball, rebounds the ball, is a big, big part of what we try to do.
And you got 7 new guys on the roster here. A number of them, again, you've started freshmen before, but you don't typically, where the program has been now, you haven't had to, but now you're in that position where you have to. But DeShields, Buchanan, and Moy, those guys have been seeing so many minutes early on in their careers and showing their growth almost each game.
Yeah, I'll start with Jordan. Jordan has a very good skill set. He's going to be all three of those guys are going to be very talented players. Very excited about all three of them. A little bit of a learning curve right now, but Jordan started the season and loved how he started the season. Had a solid role with our team, defending well, ability to make shots, really good rebounder, was doing a lot of things for us. And obviously, he was playing 10 to 15 minutes, now playing, 30 to 35 minutes. There's some growth there that's happening that I see. Keandre, he had a tough preseason just with injury. But has stuck it out and starting to play at a high level for us. Need him to continue to do that. He's still learning. We're teaching him multiple positions because we have so many guys down. Typically, he would be a 3-man. We're asking him to play some 4 now, so he's having to learn that as well. So there's some growing pains with that. But he's been a quick study. He's picked up things quickly. We need him to continue to do that. But he really can score the ball. He can shoot the ball. He's strong, physical. Very excited about what he has a chance to be able to do. And then Duncan, Duncan had a tough go about it. Duncan had a really good preseason, and then he was hit with the injury bug. He got a concussion and had to miss the first 2 games, of the season, and then got sick and is starting to come back. Is very talented. Was very pleased with how he played over the weekend. Westchester, he was able to score the ball and do some good things. He's a tremendous passer. I did a really good job against East Stroudsburg. I think he had 4 assists and 6 rebounds. Those 3 guys I'm really, really excited about. All 3 of those guys are going to impact this program tremendously in the next 4 years. And they're going to have much more opportunity this year than I thought they would have at the beginning of the year.
And one of the guys now seeing a lot more minutes now with Donald being out is Gunther, a transfer from American International, but at least had some college experience. Yes, he's new to the program, but at least he has a little bit of time on the court at the college level.
Yeah, and he, like for us, when you come into a program, we're pretty structured. We run a lot of different things, and there's some learning curve there. Asim's got a really good attitude and has picked up things very, very well. I think he also will continue, to get better, and we, kind of threw him in there. I think as he settles in, I can just see him doing, more and more. He gets his hands on basketballs. He's got a good understanding of our offense, getting people where they need to be. He'll continue to grow in those areas, and that will help our team.
So again, the idea of a lot of injuries, guys will be working their way back hopefully here sooner rather than later, but you got games coming up this weekend after finals. The guys got practice, got studies, and then coming back on Saturday, playing a non-conference game against Wilmington in Hamer Hall. One of those random games there, but it's happened a couple years ago, Chestnut Hill. But this idea of what have you seen so far in Wilmington? They just played Pace, a top 25 team last night.
Yeah, they present a lot of matchup problems. They didn't have their either first or second leading scorer play last night, so it was a tough game for them. Pace is obviously a very good top 25 team. They're scrappy. They attack the rim well. They play a good motion offense, a lot of 4-out, 1-in. They do a lot of horn stuff, but they share the ball. They present some problems defensively. They're scrappy. They run and jump. They go for steals. They get their hands on basketball. So we got to be ready to play. I like, we've had some time off. We've had some practice time, which we need at this point in time. Usually at this point in time, you're just sharpening things up. We're still teaching and learning because we've got so many new guys out there, and having the practice time and those guys getting the majority of the reps is important to us right now.
And then after that game, you come back and play on Tuesday, back in the Convo, against Bloomsburg, one of those earlier games, like a midweek early game, just because it's crossover and before the holidays. But facing the Huskies here before the break too. It's got to be one of those things. You're not necessarily looking at film yet, but somebody got to be ready for it in a couple days.
Yeah, starting to look at them a little bit for sure. We got to be ready to play. They mix up some things defensively. They push the ball in transition. They have some guys that can score the basketball. We've got to be ready to play. We need to start winning some games in the conference. It's very, very important. We don't want to dig a hole that we can't get ourselves out of. And, when you're playing at home, you got to find a way to win games.
So, again, that's a lot of games here, 10 games. I promise we'll be back again before make you do 10 games in a row. But that's where we are right now. Been a long fall crossover season for Gary Smith and I, with football making their run in the playoffs. But Coach has been willing to hold it tight here for us and go review the entire 10 games we've had so far. Appreciate the time. And we'll see you here next time on the Danny Sancomb Show.
Thanks.